Hello guys, if you like my awesome gaming videos, my programming and web development courses, my editing courses and editing videos, and my tech talks and tech guidance, then you can consider subscribing to my channel. So hello guys, welcome to my channel again. So basically I'm learning Redux toolkit, so that's why I'm taking a long time to make this video, because this is not using the Redux toolkit. It is actually the old way how to do this. Okay, so that's why it is taking so much time to upload this video. So today I'm gonna complete it, especially the update feature and delete. If you go to the view, as you can see here, you will see every single thing that you need. You can delete it. You have the delete button, but I didn't implement it. You need to have a update button here. So okay, so if this is the feature that we want to implement. So let's go and let's see what we can do. So first we need to create our reducer basically. So I think I can copy this one. Okay, this is very straightforward, and here I need to just write update project reducer. Okay, and the state we have nothing. We can add one more thing, which is project. In the project object I want to store something. Suppose here I need to use our own actions based on update. So we need to create our actions file. For that we need to go to our constants folder, and here we have our thing for the detail. Now we need to create our all the actions type. This is actually the actions types. So we need to create a different type of actions types. We're gonna name it as update. So for updating we need to use update project request, and then if it is successful, then we just call these actions, and if there is any failure for API failure or network issues, then this will fire up. So all of our actions is created. Now we need to go to our reducers and we need to import it. So here I'm going to import update request, and then if it is successful, so this one is complete, then our case is update project request successful. Okay, so if it is successful, we need to hold this data inside this project object. Okay, whatever we get from the action.payload in the API. Okay, this is the data we need to hold inside this project, and we're gonna get it. Very simple. And then we need to for the failure we need to add one more case. So update project request failed. Okay, if it is failed, we're gonna get the error in the action.payload, and success is equals to false, loading is equals to false. And we need to have one more actions, guys. This is very important, and here just copy this one and paste it, and this is for the reset. Okay, sometimes we need the reset, so let me do it. Update project request reset. Okay, so let me go to the reducer again and just update project request reset, and it will reset everything in our store. Okay, so this is very important, and especially this reset is important for the update and adding. Okay, as you can see, this is almost the similar thing that we are doing. Very important. Then what we need to do, we need to create our actions based on it. We already created get project list action that gets all the data from the API, and for adding we post some data that we hold inside these actions, because these actions work with our UI, so we can get this project object data, okay, into and post it into the API. So this is also already done. And in the get detail project, we only need the ID which we need to get the data from. So this is the get detail project. Based on this ID, we're gonna get the particular one of the informations of the object. We need to use these actions again in our update, because we need to get each individual information in the form. Okay, so this is also very important. We're gonna use it later. So let me copy this thing and here paste it, and make sure it is for the update. Okay, so update detail, update project. Okay, so update project actions, you can just name it as update project, and it takes two parameters. One is ID and one is project data. So this is the data that we want to send in the updated state, and this is the ID that we want to update. Okay, so here you need to pass one more thing, which is projects data, that will be coming from our UI. Okay, so this is the thing that we want to pass inside this, and we need to use update detail action, and this is for the request, and then it is successful, then we need to just define different type, which is update project request successful, because we already get the data. If this is thing happening, then we're gonna get the data and send it inside our payload. Okay, and for error we need to also define it, request fail. Okay, so all of the thing is done properly. Make sure you use put operation here, because we are updating That's why you need to use put. You can use patch, but normally I use put. It works pretty well. Basically, this is the two information that we need now, which is very simple and easy stuffs: ID and projects data. So basically, this is the two information that we need from our UI. So if I go to our app.js, here we need to create one more route, and this would be for the updating the project. So update project, and here we're gonna pass some ID, and I'm gonna name it as update. Okay, and let me create one more component called project update project.jsx. So okay, this is the component. So here I need to pass some ID. So here I have to just catch the ID so that you can understand, and to catch it we need to use params. So const ID, it will be coming from use params. So this is the params that you're going to use params hook. This is coming from the React router DOM to catch some ID that we get inside the parameter of the website. Okay, we just pass this ID, and this is the page we need to go. So save this thing, and here we need to use update project. So here we just use update project component. So simple stuffs. So now we need to go into this directory, this update project page from our detail of project. Here we see each of the thing that we have. We get each of the information by its ID and hold it. Okay, so this is the thing is very important. We need this thing. So here I need to uncomment it, just uncomment it, and this is the button that will go to update/project/ID. And how we can get it? We just getting it by use params, as you can see. Okay, so this is very important, and we need to go to this particular URID. If I go to the update project/ID, it will go to the update page. Okay, so let me show you the update page. This is the update page now we are having, and we're gonna get this ID using the use params. Very simple stuffs. And let me check it. If I go to app.js update project, okay, just copy the same thing we need to use. This is the same thing that we have to use. Okay, and let me check it out. So link imported link was not found. Okay, we need to import link from React router DOM, and make sure you delete it from the React bootstrap, because it is not coming, link is not coming from the React bootstrap, it is coming from React router DOM. So that is the thing we are using here. Okay, so very simple stuffs. Now it is working. If we go to the view, and now this is the update page. As you can see, this is the ID of 2. We are holding this ID of 2. As you can see, we are going into update/project/ID of 2. So this is the ID of 2 we are editing. So our main feature is done. Now we need to work with our UI. Okay, we need to show every single information like this into the update page. So this is the thing we have to do here. Our actions is created, our reducers is created based on it. As you can see, we created every single thing. Now we need to work with our UI mainly. So here in the form, we need to show all of our information. So these are the information that we want to show here. So that we can update it. So very easily, we just use this format. And here, this is the div that I'm going to use. Just copy everything. And in these places, I'm just paste every single thing inside the div. Okay. So just format it a bit. Okay. So this is the ID that we hold. Inside this is the ID we're holding, and just using the use params. And here I need to use update project. So here I used update project, and in place here we need to get the title. This is the title that we have to get from our state, that the API call. Okay, so from the detail, if we just dispatch the detail functionality, if I go to the project action, if I just dispatch this get project detail by its ID, we're gonna get each particular project information by its ID and show them. So this is the action that we must have to use inside this component. So how can you do that? One more thing, we need to go to our store.js, and here we need to export something. Update project reducer. We need to use this thing. So update project. Here we need to use update project reducers. Okay, very simple. And here we need to get this will give us our data in the project. Okay, so we need to store it here before we do any other thing. So this is very important part. And here we will get all of our data. Like if I go to the detail here, as you can see, const detail is equals to use selector, and we're gonna get this information. And in this project detail we get the project of project detail. So we can copy those stuffs, we can copy these three things and paste it inside our update. Okay, this is very simple. We need to import our use dispatch. This is coming from React Redux. Okay, very important packages to do any of the dispatching work. And here we have the project detail, and we need to use our use selector. So use selector, just import it again. This is also coming from the same React Redux. As you can see, detail project, and it is holding this project information. Okay, so this is very, very important. Now how we get the data inside the particular project object. Okay, so if we dispatch it, so we need to use effect. I'm gonna use something, and we need to use the dependency and ID dependency. This is the ID that we are getting this thing. These are the two things very important. Then we need to use dispatch, and in the dispatch what we need to use, we need to go to our project actions. As you can see, get detail of project, we can reuse this thing, okay, inside the update, because first we have to get the data by its ID and show it into the form. Okay, so this is the thing we are doing. So we need to get projects, get detail of project, and it expects some ID. We can have this ID here inside this params. We can get the information. Now now this is filled with data inside this project object. Okay, now we can just show it inside here. So let me check if we have this data. So console.log project. Okay, so let me check it out. So form, title, category, this is not defined. Okay, so we need to create these states as well, guys. So this is very important. So let me create this state first. So these are the states, and so these are the states that we need, and just use here in the top position we can use this states. And let me check, need to import our use state here. Very simple. And let me check it out if it is working or not. We need to import form from React Bootstrap, and form group, button, all of those stuffs. And project submit handler is not defined. Okay, so and then we need to have this project submit handler when we submit it, and we're gonna work with this later, not now. And just simply do this. As you can see in the update, we get all the information, but we get all the information. This is static information, but we want the dynamic information. Console, as you can see, we have all the information that we need. If we go to the update page, as you can see, we are also getting this information. So if we go to the update project as JSX, as you can see, we get all the information like category, demo, title, description, all of those stuffs. So as you can see, this now we get all the information. Now these are the things that we need to show inside our component. Okay, so here we need to use set thumbnail. So in the set thumbnail we can use this thing called project.thumbnail. Okay, so we can copy those stuffs, and for this set title we can use this project.title. And similarly, everything I just copy and paste everything. Similarly, this is the thing for thumbnail. We get the thumbnail. For title, we just storing this title that we get from our database. Okay, so these are the object that hold all of our information, and we are just assigning all of our data like project.thumbnail, title, category inside these states, local states. Okay, so these are all the local states that we are having. Now we get all the values, as you can see. So select a category. We need to import one more thing. Just copy this thing and paste one more thing, and actually this is the value that would be dynamic. Okay, so this is the dynamic value category. This is the category. So this is also the same for the category, and this should be selected, and this should be selected. As you can see, it's working fine, and this is the selected value that we are getting, and this is the demo link, and this is the image. So we need to just change this button name so it looks pretty well. So instead of add, it should be update, and you can use here, we can use image and image source, and image source should be thumbnail, and this is the title. Okay, so in the alt tag we need to use our title. Okay, and give it a size, height of 200 pixels and width of 250 pixels. Okay, let's check it out. So this is the image that I uploaded. Now we can update all of this data. So very simple steps. Now we need to use this button. When I click on this button, this thing should be updated, okay, inside the database. So this is the thing that we want. So how can we do that? We need to use one more thing, use selector. Just copy this thing, paste it, and this is for the project update data, project update, and this is coming from state.project update. We can copy this stuff from store. So it is coming from this thing, update project, and it is holding, as you can see, if I just hover over it, it is holding some object called project. You can just use this thing, updated information. And also this is getting from this information, project updates data. This is normal project, and this is coming from the project as updated project. Okay, you're gonna name it as updated project. I'm gonna name it as updated success. So I just renamed it because these are the same name as this. So I just renamed it and use it updated error, updated success, and updated project. Okay, so make sure you don't have the same name all the time. We need to create our handler. So if I go to our form here on submit, you need to create update project handler. Okay, update project handler. So here we're going to create this functionality to handle update. So const update project handler, and we can use this thing and make sure e.prevent default. So here I can copy these stuffs, e.prevent default here, so the page doesn't reload after I click on update. And here we need to dispatch something. We're gonna dispatch update project reducer or update project. Okay, so this is the actions, update project actions. So this is the actions that you're gonna fire up if we just click on it. So if we go there, update project, and it expects some ID and some parameter of data. So let me go inside this component update, and we need to use this thing here. Okay, and it expects some ID. We need to pass the ID, and in the parameter we need to pass some data. So here we need to use form data. So const form data is equals to new form data. So here we can pass form data dot append. Okay, we are appending each information like title, thumbnail, category, all of those things that we collect from this UI component. Okay, so everything is same. Almost the add, we just in the update we just added a category that is coming from the database, and on submit we need to use this update project handler. And update project handler just get all the data that we are collecting from the UI and form it into the form data, and we are just dispatching it and passing this information as a parameter so that we can use this thing, update this data, because this update project needs two things to update. First, it needs the ID and the data that we want to update. So this other thing is very important. Then suppose we need to clear something, clear some state, and this is also same for here, clear the data. We can copy these stuffs and reuse it here, and this is to clear some data. Okay, you can call the clear data, that will clear all the states for us. And we can use navigate features. Here we use navigate to navigate from one place to another page, and we can use this thing, root page. Okay, so I hope it will work just fine without any issues. So I will just name it as updated, just keep it like that, and I'm just name it updated. And I will just change some image data, just give it this image data and update, As you can see, it is updated properly without any issues. There is no issues whatsoever. As you can see, all the thing is updated. Now just update it again. And if you don't update the image, it will not work, because in the API I designed it like that way. If we just make it optional, that it will work just fine. So I just revert it back to whatever it is and change our image. So this is very important. It is a required field. So I just change back to this. As you can see, it is updated without any issues. So it is working perfectly without any issues. So update is done. Then we need one more thing, which is the delete functionality. Okay, so for the delete, I need to use these things called delete button. We already have this delete button. Okay, we already have this delete button in the detail project component. As you can see, we have the delete, but we need to make it on click. We need to work or do some work. Okay, so we need to handle the delete. So let me create one more thing. Handle delete function. Okay. And handle delete will take some parameter and it will do some steps. It will call some dispatch. So we need to create those actions. So we can copy this thing. We can copy those steps. So for the delete project, I just need the ID I want to delete. Okay. So we need to create our actions based on it. So if we go to our constant, we can just copy those steps. And one more thing, you can copy these steps here, and in place of detail, I'm using delete project. Okay, so these are the things that we have to use. So here in the delete project, we need to pass this type, delete project request, and if it is successful, then it is delete project request success. And then for the failure, simple. So this is very simple steps. And for deleting, we don't need to pass any data. We can just use axios.delete method to delete any information. Okay, so this will work just fine. And we can use this delete project inside our component of detail, because in this place we have this button delete. Okay, so that's why you need to create this. Now we can dispatch this called delete project actions, and it expects something called parameter ID, and you can pass this ID here, and make sure in on click you need to pass those steps. Click, this is the thing that we'll call delete handler. Okay, handle delete. So just copy this stuff, handle delete, and we need to pass this ID that we want to remove. So this will work. Just name it as PID project ID and PID project ID. Okay, so make sure handle delete holds some ID which one we want to delete, and we already get the ID. Okay, so in the handle delete, we need to have an ID. I just name it as PID as a parameter, and I just passed it inside the dispatch functions, inside the dispatch actions. Okay, so this will work just fine. And we need to create our reducer for it, and reducer are almost the same thing. And this is for the delete reducer, delete project reducer, and we don't need anything here. And we don't need this state. This is unnecessary. And we just need this thing, and we also don't need this thing. Only 3 state. One is for request, so delete, this is for the request, then for the success, for delete, and it will return nothing. And then we have the delete request fail, and if it is fail, it will show some error. Okay, so this is the configuration, and we need to just copy this thing. And if I go to our store here we need to call it delete project, and I'm gonna call it delete project reducer. And as you can see, it is imported. All of our reducers is done working. It is very simple and easy steps. In the next tutorial, I will make amazing content for you using the Redux toolkit and RTQ query, which is a lot more faster and easy to use. How can you do this, all of this steps very easily using the Redux way. So this is the most advanced thing that you can understand, but you need to know this idea, this framework, how this is working, how you are just dispatching when you're clicking on button, how you're fetching something to get all this data, and how we are adding something. If as you can see, if here we are adding some information on submit, and we are passing it inside the form data and just using this dispatch to hold all those information. And in the reducer, we are just holding this information that we are getting. As you can see in the project object, we are getting this information same as this is. So all of the thing is, this is the procedure that you want to follow. But but Redux toolkit is very simple and easy stuff. In the next tutorial series, I'm going to work with this, which is much simpler and easier and very intuitive to use, and you will understand a lot of things if you just continue with this series. Okay, so this is the thing is very important for front-end development. State management is also very important. So our delete functionality is it should be working properly. As you can see, we just use the delete project, the actions, and it should get deleted. Go to our add project, and here add project, I just put something something which has no issues whatsoever. Suppose this is the image, and it is added. I just want to delete it. That's the simple thing. As you can see, everything is working perfectly. We just want to delete. As you can see, it is deleted without any issues. So after it deletes, it should go to some places. Let me go to here. After it deletes, it should go and navigate to some other places. So we need to use navigate here. To use navigate. Okay. So after it deleted, we need to navigate some places. Use navigate. Okay. So it is now imported. Okay, so let me go to let me add one more data. So let me add one more data and let's check it out. As you can see, it is added. Now if I just update it, we can update this as well, and I'm gonna delete it. As you can see, delete it immediately. You guys get a lot of ideas based on it. Today I'm gonna work with the really awesome and beautiful cart application, shopping cart application, and backend framework, and React Redux toolkit also, to show you the best framework possible to work with the Redux project, especially with the React, which is much simpler, easier, and you understand a lot about it very simply, because this is you don't need to write a lot of code to integrate your Redux in your application. So till then, take care, bye bye. I'll see you in the next video with more awesome and beautiful content. So take care, bye bye.